What grows your business the fastest in 2022? For the person that makes it to the end of this video, I have a question that you can answer inside the comments so that way everything that we learned today will stick. Okay. Have you ever heard the person that talked to you says, hey, I have $1 billion idea. I have $1 trillion idea. Okay. And let's throw this back like maybe 5 years ago. I was working with one of my friends at the time, and we had gone to this conference, a direct sales conference, so we could learn how to make a lot of money. Now, the people there obviously were talking, making millions of dollars, talking on stage. And so we stayed after and helped them tear stuff down and just talk to them and set up an actual phone call with one of these individuals so we could be like, hey, dude, we got $1 trillion idea. We literally told this multi-millionaire that us freaking 20-year-olds or 19 at the time had $1 trillion idea. And we even got on the phone call with him and we pitched him his idea, and I don't remember the idea right now, but obviously, as you can tell, it didn't work. Now, one of the problems that we have, most people have, is that we are outwardly humble and inwardly cocky. Okay. At this time, I was both outwardly cocky, outwardly unhumble. Okay. Because we're like, hey, we've never made $1,000. Right. At the time, I was selling family pictures. I was working in my photography business. I had more money than I've ever had in my life at that time. Right. Which was a couple grand saved up in my bank account so I could travel across the country to go to this event and figure out, hey, how can I make even more? Now, the reason this obviously didn't work is because we're still in the learning phase. I am still in the learning phase, the implementation phase, right? And the shortest shortcut that I have ever had is paying people to tell who are where I want to be, and I pay them to show me the way, and I listen intently and I do what they tell me to do. Okay. Now, one of the most idolized people of our time who was really, really, really good at this was Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was known to be cocky. He was known for his cockiness on the outside. If you talk to him, I'm the best. I'm one of the best. I am the best. I'm the greatest of all time, right? And anybody that didn't know Michael closely, he came off as very cocky, ignorant, and so on and so forth. But his coaches, Michael Jordan's coaches, in several of his books, said that Michael was one of the best listeners and implementers of the coaches. And Michael Jordan said it himself, even if I thought my coaches were wrong, I still listened and I still implemented daily. So most of us are outwardly humble and inwardly cocky. And I'll prove it to you. Here's why. How many books have you read this year? How many people have you tracked down and paid them money to teach you how to get what you want out of life? This could be soccer. This could be showing. This could be business school. This can be jujitsu, right? This can be literally anything. Go find the best of the best and say, hey, dude, I will pay you to teach me how to be where you are. How many of you have done that? How many times have you done that personally? I know for a fact, last year I spent over $10,000 plus on coaching for online businesses from people who have made multi-millions of dollars and sold their company, right? And guess what happened this year? We made over 10 grand in a single day from the teachings and actually ended up partnering with these freaking monsters. I ended up in a partnership with them. The video marketing made easy that you guys are going to see in September that's coming out is literally an accumulation of me spending thousands and thousands of dollars to find the best of the best in the online space and saying, hey, teach me the ways. And in that, we worked together. They showed me how to do things. I implemented, and they're like, you know what? Let's do something together. And then I became into a partnership with some of the best in the industry. And I would never been able to do that if I said, hey, I know what I'm doing. I've made a couple grand online. I know what I'm doing. Some people haven't even ever made their first dollar using videos and emails and all of the things, which tells us, hey, there's something that you don't know. Sam Walton, Okay. The guy worth $160 billion in his time. Okay. One of the first $1 trillion companies ever, Walmart. Okay. Sam Walton was so humble. He spent more time in competitor stores than his own. And his logic was, hey, I already know what I know. What do my competitors know that I don't? I need to figure that out. So he bought himself a little plane, the ones from like Alaska, and he flew around to all of his competitor stores, and he spent more time in his competitor stores. And his wife says, hey, I think you spend more time in your stores and competitor stores than your own. He says, yes, of course. He actually got arrested in Brazil. So there was two young men from Brazil who sent out emails to a bunch of CEOs across the world. And they're like, hey, we would love to learn about your business to see how we can implement that into our country. And Sam Walton was the only person that said, yeah, of course, come on over. So they flew over. And as they get off the plane, the guy in this little pickup truck rolls up and they're like, hey, can you take us to Sam Walton? He goes, I am Sam Walton. Get in the pickup truck. So they get in the truck and they go to his house and they have a home cooked meal for the night. And as they go, Sam's like, hey, let me ask you a question. And he goes on for the night, further through the night. And Sam's like, let me ask you a question. And then these two gentlemen are realizing, like, hey, Sam is asking us all of the questions. We came here to learn from him. And he's asking us questions over and over and over again. And so they invited him to come to Brazil. So he goes to Brazil and they kind of get split up doing things. And they get a phone call and they're like, hey, we got this crazy old white dude in jail. And so they're like, what? There's a billionaire in the Brazilian jail. So we got to go get him. So they get there and like, dude, what are you guys doing? Do you not know who this is? This is Sam Walton. He's a billionaire. And they're like, we just saw some old dude crawling on the floors at the grocery store. We thought he was crazy. And they're like, what were you doing? He's like, I was wondering if these guys out here in Brazil knew something that I didn't. He was already worth $160 billion at the time. Okay, that's humility. That's knowing that, hey, I don't know everything, right? We will never know everything. And the people that have this continuous drive to learn and stay humble and get the next edge, they buy and read personal development books from the best of the best. Joe Rogan is a freaking phenomenal sponge. I don't know, you guys been watching any of his things, right? And if you go back to where I was with my friend at the time, that was the cockiest thing you could have done, is go to a multimillionaire and be like, hey, I'm a 20-year-old that's never made $1,000. I have $1 trillion idea. Everybody has ideas. The graveyard is full of bad ideas that never got implemented because people don't do. Okay. Learning from people that have what we want is literally the fastest shortcut to get to where you want to be. And it's something that you can't fake. People that are up there in the top industries, you can't fake what you know and your mentality of how to get there. It's easier to say, this is where I'm at. Help me get to where you are. And 90% of the people up there will be like, perfect, let me show you. Because the most people show up to these big dogs and they try to flex on them. They're like, oh, you make millions? Well, if you were to see my real estate portfolio, you see how big my penis is. And they're like, okay, all right, dude, cool. You're just out here trying to flex. You're a very insecure person, right? Because you're trying to overdo that. When instead you could just go with curiosity, having curiosity. How did you get there? What's the story behind this first business that you did? No way. So how did you meet your business partner? Were you guys like on the good term? Da 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 da. Right? Curiosity of just figuring out who they are, what they do, will land you a much better deal, right? For someone that does one-on-one coaching all the time, I do four 90-day runs with people. So I work with 4 people one-on-one for 90 days in a row. And the thing that I have found is that there's some people I don't want to work with at all, that are not going to do anything. They really want me to build things for them, but they're not willing to do the work, right? So you have to be willing to get the information to do the work. Okay. And if you made it this far, make sure you leave a like. Okay. Go ahead and like this video, because there is way more coming. I am getting a lot of this information and this brain food from one of my own mentors who's preaching the same thing, Tai Lopez. Okay. And this is the 67 steps from Tai Lopez, where you can learn the fastest from people that from people. So The easiest and fastest way to learn from the smartest and most successful and wealthiest people in the world, right? Tai Lopez flew around the country paying people to mentor him, and then he put that together inside of these 67 steps. This is day 3 with Sam Walton in the Brazilian jail. That's where I got the story. I've listened to 32 minutes of this because it's an hour long. Okay. And you can go on your 67-step journey yourself. Okay. But here is the question for the day. What steps are you taking to show more humility in your life, and how has this helped you achieve your goals? I shared you guys my story and how I've gotten to where I am today. And you can go get your own 67 steps by going to 67steps.yescolton.com and get it inside there. Okay. And start learning. This is the brain food that we have to get. This is the knowledge that we need to learn. Okay. Now, if you want implementation strategies for growing your business online with marketing and getting attention and driving leads and sales to your business, go to 15days.yescolton.com. This is for anybody who wants to start a profitable online business but doesn't know where to begin. Okay, you get 15 days of training from multi-millionaire Dave Sharp. $7. Okay, the 67 steps is $5 to join. Okay, so these are very, very small investments into your knowledge and skills from people that have literally the life that most people individually want. This is the crazy thing about this. There's so many people out there that think, hey, the rich are just so selfish. The rich are selfish. Well, no one should be able to have so much money. Give it away. These people are saying, hey, I will teach you everything I freaking know for a couple bucks. Yet there's people out there that are like, I'm just gonna go work my life away and complain and bitch and moan that life's hard and everybody else gets to win. Don't be that person. Be the person that's humble enough to say, hey, where are these people at in their life? Wow, that's way better than I am. That's way better than my parents. That's way better than my uncles, my grandpa, my grandma. Right? My grandpa died working 8 hours at 76 years old. He died on the couch working 8 hours. He was probably more than that. The dude wakes up at 5 a.m. He's on a ranch out there and then comes home and dies at noon. Okay. And you can get literally the knowledge of some of the wealthiest people in the entire world for under $10 starting today. Okay. Go ahead and share this video. We got way more coming. I'm doing the 67 steps every single morning. My reviews, my take, because I needed to get back into my own personal development journey, because I started to fade away and my brain started to think scarcity and, oh no, what if it doesn't work, instead of all the optimistic versions of why it should work. I'm going to see you guys on the next video. It's your boy, Colton Havens, and I love you. Peace.